All right, guys. I said one last story a while ago, but it's the last story of the day. Be sure to hit the like button. Helps us out in the algorithm. Uh, and give us some comments too, man. Like sometimes some clips on our YouTube channel we get comments. I mean, I need to start reading comments. Ignore the negative ones. Look at the positive ones. I don't know. I think about it, man. I just want to purge my mind from negativity. But anyway, like the video. This wow. Apparently, MIT silences students. Um, Very interesting. I'm gonna play the video. Um, wow. Here we go.
Yeah, I was just going to say that what Prahlad's experienced and what many of us have experienced being suspended and banned from campus. I mean, dozens of people, right? I see it as a broader pattern in the weaponization of narratives of harassment, of and the elevation of feelings of Zionist faculty and students over the lives of Palestinians, and over any opportunity for them to be held accountable.
So basically, if I'm getting from this little clip is that if you pro Palestine, you get silenced, but if you pro Israel, you get propped up. Yeah. Well, have we seen this before? Yeah. Let me continue.
And other people who have spoken out against Daniela Rus, who have written on public chalkboards, who have asked her questions during Q&A sessions at the many events and award events that she goes to. They've also been given no contact orders. The student newspaper, as you pointed out, which published our opinion piece, calling on Daniela Rus to step up and show some moral backbone and end her connections with the Israeli military. That was taken down under the assumption that it was fueling harassment. And I see this kind of as part of a winning formula. I mean, we know the schools, not just MIT, but they've gathered over the summer and they've shared their wisdom and experience about how best to suppress dissent to what they're doing. And I think they've figured out that if they can frame political speech as a form of harassment, it will work. And in some ways, this is kind of ironic because and I think you pointed this out really well. When
Wow. So bad. Oh wow. So yeah, freedom of the press, right? I mean, my freedom of speech. Supposed to have freedom of speech. But so now freedom of speech is harassment now, according to these schools. Ah. Man, man, oh man, oh man. Yeah. Um, yeah. So basically, freedom of speech for you, not for you, for thee, man. I ain't surprised. Like I kind of knew like since really like the beginning of 2024 when the campus protests really took off. Like man, these kids, man, they had me crying, man. Like sacrificing their bodies because these cops beat these kids too upside their head. The pro-Palestine protesters. Yeah, now they say see these colleges, these institutions got more creative. Like since technically what they doing is kind of legal, it's a form of protest or they speech. So, let's 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 sway it a little bit more to say, hey, um, it's harassment if you speak against something that we don't agree with. Wow.
compared to the 60s and 70s, when Noam Chomsky was here at MIT, the students would riot. I mean, they barricaded buildings. They like built a battering ram and rammed down the office of the president to speak with him. I think at Columbia, the president was taken hostage for a day. Like this was part of that political culture. And whereas now, when we are, I think, extremely deferential to norms of politeness, we're still kind of given the short end and the bat. Um, and I think it's because they're very scared. I mean, they know that the movement at MIT is very popular. I mean, a lot of us might be very outspoken, but we asked the students themselves in a series of referenda across the entire campus, um, do you support ending these ties with the Israeli military? And the super majorities came back, yes, we want this ended. If MIT did it, for the
Yeah, that's why. And that's why they changed the phrasing around because yeah, they scared. Yeah, yeah. Our institutions are scared that people are quote unquote woke. Like people know stuff now that they didn't know. Um, I mean, it's not surprising. Like we said back then, like kids just call the ruckus. Like then compared to now, like kids trap themselves inside of these buildings and stuff. Like that's nothing compared to getting a battering ram and busting into the dean's office. Like yeah, but back to him.
genocide in Darfur in 2008, if they could divest from the Draper Labs, if they could at one point, I think in 2022, they ended their relationships with the crimes and acts and recognize them as political moves. They can also do the same for the Palestinians. Um, that's my personal opinion, but I'll let you ask a question.
So, Richard, talk a little bit about, I didn't ask Prahlad about this, the ties with Elbit Systems and with, I said Feldman. There's a professor in, I don't know where they are, Tel Aviv or somewhere. But talk a little bit about the direct ties with Israel.
Right. So, back in March and April, when we had published our findings about MIT's direct research ties to the Israeli military, they came back and told us that this is a form of academic freedom. We cannot tell faculty what to do, and so on. It's not an institutional collaboration, and all the other examples we had cited for divestment were institutional collaboration as well. MIT has a direct tie with Elbit Systems.
You should just explain what Elbit Systems is.
Yes.
I mean, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just
So
for people who don't know.
Elbit, for those who don't know, is Israel's largest defense contractor. They build killer drones, surveillance drones, and technology. This is used.
There you go. Like that's why. Like they know that people are anti-Israel or anti what Israel's doing to the Palestinians, and when you have ties to Israel, like these mainstream media channels, these networks. I mean, mainstream media networks, these institutions. Yeah, you do everything you can not to alienate. So you use the police to beat on protesters and activists. Or you make rules saying that this is a form of harassment, like which it's not. But yeah, I'm gonna let it continue for a few more minutes.
Within the occupation in the West Bank and Gaza. It's also exported abroad. For instance, to Azerbaijan when they committed the ethnic cleansing of Artsakh in September of 2023. I think the Indian military is a significant purchaser of these drones and technologies. Well, MIT has kind of a direct institutional collaboration with Elbit through what they call the Industrial Liaison Program. This program gives Elbit privileged access to the campus, to MIT faculty and expertise. Typically, and probably you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's a grant that Elbit gives to a faculty member, and they negotiate over some sort of research opportunity. This also allows Elbit to recruit, MIT graduates or students who are graduating into its company. And then, as we pointed out with Dan Feldman, who is an Israeli researcher with ties to Elbit at the University of Haifa, he and Daniela Rus have been working on this core set compression algorithms project for a while. Daniela Rus has also co-authored papers with top AI engineers at Elbit Systems. We know that from public information. This does not require any sort of hacking. You simply look them up on LinkedIn, you read their papers, you find who they're co-authoring with, you see who they're thanking as sponsors. It's very clear and it's very out in the open. When we publish these findings, of course, it's considered harassment. But they're very proud of it when they boast about it to their own circles. It's only when it's cast in a critical light in the mass media, in the student media, in campus politics, that they begin to see it as a threat.
I'll also
Richard,
maybe
let me, before I prelude, just tell me about, because you're a political.
All right, I'm gonna end it there. So yeah, y'all get it. Y'all get it. What else can I say? Like, when you have ties to Israel in your institution, you do anything in your best to keep Israel out of a negative light. And also, too, before I go, these students also call for some of these colleges, I'm pretty sure MIT, for example, to divest from Israel and still a rather suppress your speech than do the right thing and have some kind of fucking heart, which they don't.